Hello class, welcome to the last video of the percents unit. We have percents when given the part. Here we go, here's the first slide. Remember, there are two methods to solve for percents of a number. You can use a proportion, which remember, you need to create a fraction, which is a part over a whole, is equal to the percent over 100, because percent means out of 100. The other way to do it is by doing a conversion. So here's the first problem. Let's try it together. Please make sure you write this down. So we have 85% of blank is 204. Well, first we're going to rewrite it mathematically. So we're going to turn this into a decimal. And we have 85 hundredths of, remember, means to multiply. We have our blank here. We have is, which means equals, right? And we're going to rewrite our 204. Now, if we think about this, if we had a regular number, let's say 2, I'm going to write it over here. If you had 2 times blank equals 8. Well, you could say 2 times 4 because you know that 2 times 4 equals 8. Or you could say this blank is equal to 8 divided by 2, which we know 8 divided by 2 equals 4. So just like doing this, we're going to solve it by doing division. So instead of multiplying, we're going to divide. So we're going to bring this 85 hundredths underneath the 204. So we're going to rewrite it. We're going to say blank is equal to 204 divided by 85 hundredths. Oh, 85 hundredths. So we're going to divide. And I'm going to do it over here. You should be doing it in your notebook. So we have 85 hundredths over here. Remember, your numerator, your top number, goes in the house. So you're going to do that. And if we have a decimal in our divisor, we're going to move it over so it's a whole number. So we move it over 2 places. And so we have to add 2 zeros. So now this is 85. This decimal is not here. You can erase it in your notebook. So 85 does not go into 20. It does go into 204 2 times. Let's figure out what that is. 85 times 2, 5 times 2 is 10. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 1 is 17, so we have 170. Okay, we subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4. We can't do 0 minus 7, so we need to borrow. We have 10 minus 7 is 3. We bring down our 0. 85 goes into 340. Let's see. We'll try 3 times. 5 times 3 is 15. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. That seems like too little. So let's try 8 times 4, or 85 times 4. So we have 5 times 4 is 20. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 2 is 34, and that looks like the correct number. So it's 340. It goes in 4 times. Let's subtract. We get 0, bring down our other 0, nothing goes into 0, so we put a 0. So our number when we divide our quotient is 240. So we can go back to see if this makes sense, right? So is 85% of 240 is 204. Does that seem like it makes sense? It does, so that seems correct. All right, let's try the second problem. If 6 is 30% of a value, what is the value? So again, we're going to set it up like a math equation, right? So if 6 is, right, we're just rewriting these words. So 6 is 30%, and we're going to write that as a decimal, so 30 hundredths, of, means to multiply, of a value. So 6 is 30% of a value. What is the value? So they want to know that blank. Again, if we can't multiply, we're going to divide. Okay, so we're going to divide 6 divided by, I'm going to turn it into 3/10 because this is a 0, so I can take it off, equals blank. So remember, when you bring it over to the other side of the equal sign, you're bringing it underneath. Okay. So 6 divided by 3/10, I'm going to do my division over here. Remember, our numerator goes in the house, and we have 3/10 on the outside. And so we're going to move this decimal over once, so we have to add a 0 because we're bringing our decimal over once. Okay, bring up your decimal. 3 goes into 60, or 3 goes into 6, excuse me, 2 times. 3 times 2 is 6, subtract 0, bring down our 0. 3 goes into 0, 0 times, so our number is 20. So, if 6 is 30% of a value, what is the value? 20. So 6 is 30% of 20, right? And that does make sense. So the value is 20, and that does make sense, okay? If you need to pause and re-watch this, please make sure you do that. All right, here's the third problem. The amount of water in a bottle is reduced by 85% to 450 milliliters. How much water was originally in the bottle? Okay, so you're finding the part now. There's several ways to do this. We can first draw a picture. You guys know I like drawing pictures. So let's draw a picture. So the amount of water in the bottle is reduced by 85%. So it means we're taking away 85%. So this is 85%, right? Which means this left, well, how much does this need to be down here to make 100%? Well, we know that 100 minus 85 is 15. So we know that this must be 15% is left, right? And so let's reread again. Because if you don't understand it the first time, we need to reread it. The amount of water in a bottle is reduced by 85% to 450 milliliters. So this is 450 milliliters right here. Let's label that. So we have 450 milliliters, and you need to write this in your notebook. Please make sure you pause it to write it. So the question is asking how much water was originally in the bottle. Okay, we can do this several ways. We can create a proportion first. We can say that if 15% is 400 milliliters, then what is the whole, how much water was originally in the bottle? We can do it that way. So let's do method 1 first. Right? So we can say our fraction is 450 is the part. We don't know the whole, right? So we're going to put an X. And then our percent is 15 out of 100. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply. So our two numbers that we have are 450 times 100. Okay, and then we're going to divide by 15. So let's do that first. 450 times 100, we know that to multiply that you just need to add zeros. So 450, and let's add our 2 zeros. So we have 45,000 is equal to 15x. And then we're going to divide 45,000 by 15. And let's see what we get. So that goes over there, right? So that we know that 15 is in the denominator, which means the numerator must go in the house. So we have 45,000 in the house, and we have 15 outside the house, right? So 15 goes into 45 3 times. 15 times 3 is 45. We have 0 left over. 0, 0. These are going to all be zeros. So our answer, our whole, is 3,000. So that is the first way to do it, right? The second way to do it is you can say that 15%, if 15% is 450, well, we can find what 1% is. So if 15%, let's see if this shows up. I might have to change the color. Let's change the color. Okay. All right. If 15%, right? Let's see if you can see this. If 15% is equal to 450, then that means 1%, we can divide both of these by 15, then 1% is equal to, if we divide this by 15, we should get 30. And let's just double check that over here. So 450 divided by 15. That goes in 3 times. 45, we get 0, 0, and so it is 30. So if 1% is 30, then 100%, 100%, my computer's a little slow, sorry, 100% is then 3,000 milliliters. Okay, and that works out the same way. So if you can do either way. The first way, remember, is to do a proportion, and the second way is to do it like this. So you can figure out if 15% is 450 milliliters, you can divide and find 1%. So you can divide both of them by 15, and then you can multiply 1% by 100%, or multiply it by 100 to get your whole. Okay, so there's the 2 ways to do it. So if you need to, again, pause and rewatch any of this, please make sure you do. Here's your homework for tonight. All right, you have 3 questions, and I will see you tomorrow.